Hello and welcome to the show. I bring good news as Mitsubishi are finally back in Forza Horizon 4, or finally arrived, if you like, in Horizon 4. Yes, a free update, free car pack has arrived with a bunch of different models, a few different Evos. There's a GTO, there's the Galant, there's the Eclipse. Sadly, no Legnum, although that was probably a little bit ambitious, let's be honest. One day, maybe it'll turn up in a Forza game. I'll be very excited when it does, but no Legnum for me. Either way, we are going to be playing around with the Evo 6, my favourite of the Evos, and I'm going to be building it to take on the Needle Pass hill climb. Now, theoretically, could be pretty fast. But that is a theoretically, because all-wheel drive will be nice to an extent in getting the car out of the corners. The downside is that the car's likely to be a little bit heavier. The bigger downside is it's likely to be higher starting PI. We should still get, well, we're going to need to put race tyres on our car. There is no question about it. And we're going to want as wide a tyres as possible. Ooh, 275s all round. That's actually quite nice. That's some quite nice sized tyres on. I say especially on the front end. 275s at the front is pretty good for helping with that little bit of turning, and with the all-wheel drive, and the fact we're building things to A-class, we shouldn't have problems with oversteer, not really from this car. We will put some aero on the vehicle. There's actually quite a lot of customization options, if you like, on this. The one that will matter for us is the Forza aero. Yes, it might not be the prettiest, but we do need the Forza aero on the car. There's some quite impressive wings going on here. Yeah, we need the Forza aero. It's the one that actually gives us downforce. I'm guessing this is mud flats, which I don't particularly want. We do want rally lights, of course. This is general. If you have an option for rally lights, that's curious. So these both add £12. However, one takes away a PI. Now, of course, we know that the PI system is, while it gives us an actual number, there is like a point on the end of it. And I guess, obviously, that 12 is just slightly worse. You know what? I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for that. We'll save ourselves a PI, maybe. Now, other upgrades that we're going to want, brakes, of course. Suspension, we're going to be on race suspension for this. We're going up a tarmac stage. We will want the anti-roll bars. I do want the roll cage really in here. That chassis rigidity. And in general, it ups the PI. Or if it doesn't up the PI, the car's so bad handling, and I want it, or lowers the PI, sorry. Either way, it's worth going for, pretty much. Do I go full weight reduction? That's the question here. I think I do, to be honest with you. I think the grip through the corners is going to be very, very important. We've still got a bit more PI to play with than I thought we might have ended up with. So let's try and sneak on things like exhaust. It's not going to be the most powerful car, although it's got more in the way of upgrades than I thought it was going to, being a vehicle that started already quite high up in B class, up to 320 horsepower. This could be very fast, actually. It's 330 horsepower, 350 torque, it's less than £2,500. That's some pretty good looking numbers, and it might possibly sometimes we can get away with... No, we can't with it. Sometimes upgraded gearboxes drop the PI, so it's worth having a look, just in case. And now we might be able to sneak on other bits and pieces. In fact, we can sneak on some other bits and pieces. Flywheel, maybe pushing it a step too far, but I'll give it a look. No, not quite. Yeah, that, stat-wise, looks bloody promising. Stat-wise, it looks very, very promising indeed for the Evo 6. Fingers crossed, it can go fast up the Needle Pass. Right, we are on the start line with our Evo 6. Going to have 3 attempts to get up the Needle Pass as quickly as possible. Our current leader is the Honda S2000. It's sat at the top of the table for a little while now. A 127.4 is the time to try and beat. This car might possibly stand a chance of doing that. The only other all-wheel drive car that's run so far was the 205 T16. That sits in second place, so theoretically I would expect this to be better than the 205. The 205 is not the easiest car to build quickly, also not the easiest car to drive. This has got more grip. It is a lot more planted than that Peugeot. So far is looking pretty good up this course. There is a lot of front-end grip from this, which I like very much, and the back end stays in check. In fact, we may even be able to be flat through there. I'll have to give that a try. Now, it's a lot of cars have been very close to being flat through there, but not quite. This might be able to do it. Here we go. Yeah, there's a lot of grip. There is a lot of grip in this. The balance in this car is fantastic. We are going to run through these next couple of corners without too much in the way of a problem. Might have actually turned in a bit too soon through there. I mean, that's okay, we'll get away with it. In the hell, we're carrying a lot of speed. On a wonky line, we carried what felt like a lot of speed through there. It might be a case that the car feels a lot faster than it is. We have had that a few times. I'm not sure that is the case here with this. I think this is just very, very fast. We're up to the final corner now for the Evo. Trying to get on that power as soon as possible. There's a little bit of all-wheel drift on the way out. Holy crap. Well, well, it's safe to say the Evo 6 is mighty fast. A 1:24.9 up this course. That has obliterated everything. Jeez, that car is fast. That is absolutely ridiculous. And that was the first run with it. Well, whatever happens with these next two runs, we have a new record, and we have a new record by quite some margin. That's very impressive. This series has been incredibly close in terms of leaderboard, in terms of the fastest times, and the Evo 6 has made it not very close whatsoever. Let's see what we can do on the next run. Can we find any more speed from this car? I mean, I'm going to try. This is ridiculously fast in terms of A-Class. I mean, in terms of A-Class, I guess... Oh, that's actually a little bit of oversteer there. In terms of A-Class handling cars for tarmac, if this is that much faster than everything else, then some of the cars were fairly sensible. Like the S2000 is a fairly sensible A-Class car up here. That's, yeah, this is going to be scary fast. To be fair, I have known, we have seen in previous motorsport games, the Evo 6 is a very, very good car to use. We've often banned it from certain events just because you know it's going to be fast, and if you don't ban it, the sensible choice / most people will end up running it. So, yeah, the Evo 6 is a bit bloody good. I've gone the wrong side there. I don't think this is quite as smoother a run from the car. The thing is, like, when you set such a fast time on your first attempt, you're then looking for how can I go faster than that, which often means you either got to be braver or a bit more aggressive in places, which then leads to scruffier runs. Because I don't really know where I'm going to find that much more time out of this car. Because, well, let's face it, nothing's really gone that fast at all through here before. Yeah, I'm not sure this is going particularly amazingly well. It's still going to be mighty fast, I suspect, out of this final corner. Yeah, a little slower that time, a bit too aggressive. I mean, we're still gone faster than anything else by 2 seconds. However, not as fast as the first run. Well, I guess we learned something, at least, in that one. A little bit smoother is definitely the way to go. Well, we are on to the final run with the Evo 6 in what has already been a mighty, mighty impressive showing. Can I get any more out of the car? That is the question. Possibly. Possibly. Hopefully, if I'm a little bit neater, a little bit smoother with this car on the final run, we're not going to find, I don't think, massive amounts of time. There simply wasn't massive amounts of time on the table left with that first run. However, yeah, I'm going to see what I can do with the car. It's the turn-in that you get from this vehicle is remarkable. And then, of course, you've got a decent amount of power, not too much weight, and I say limitless traction. It will slide ever so slightly in a couple of places, but you can use all of the 300 horsepower immediately out of just about every corner, and you're carrying so much speed through the corners. It's just bloody good for this sort of thing. It's just incredibly, incredibly good for this sort of a stage. I'm trying to be flat. Even this car cannot quite be flat all the way through. You've got to have a tiny bit of a brake on the way in. But once you've done that, it is then very, very good to go out the other side. Up the next hill we go. Again, I have to say, this is probably one of the most balanced cars I've driven for A-Class up this hill. I think my Tirana from way back when we did the little hill climb tournament, I think my Tirana would get demolished by this. It is serious. Whether it would work at other circuits, I don't know. However, for this sort of thing, the Evo 6 is absolutely sublime. We head out of the hairpins for the final time. One more corner to go with the Evo. Have I managed to find any time? You get the power so early out of there and it just grips. It isn't going to be faster, sadly. It's a very, very similar time to the first run, just a couple of tenths in it there. No, we don't quite do another 124, but the first run will still somehow be the fastest from all that. That felt like a damn good run as well. I mean, they're all pretty damn similar. Again, we have seen that in general from cars up here, some consistency with their runs. The Evo is incredible. That hill climb stage, that Evo is absolutely, absolutely incredible. And I think that's going to take a hell of a beating. We've seen this a few times with cars that have just moved the benchmark by an absolute mile on a course. The EV110 did it on the beach rally stage. The various cars have done it in other builds series. The Woody kind of did it with one of the rally builds on Horizon 3. Woody never got beaten. The EB110's never been beaten yet. The Evo 6... well, that's going to take some beating. It goes to the top of the table by an absolute mile. By an absolute mile. We're talking nearly 3 seconds faster than the rest of the field. The rest of the field that is very, very close. Less than a second separates the S2000 and the Lancia Stratos. And this is, you know, nearly 3 seconds down the road from everyone. It's a mighty impressive car. I think perfectly suited to what we were asking it to do up this hill climb. As I said, don't know how it would fare elsewhere. I would expect it to be fast. We've seen the Euro 6s be very fast in previous Forza games. Be interesting to find out just how insanely fast. Maybe it could be my new go-to A-class car rather than the Legacy. Might have to build one. We'll have to wait and see. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, if you have requests, vehicle suggestions you would like to see run up this course, please do leave them in the comment section below. The most liked request will run next time out. I apologise for not using the one from last episode. I wanted to use one of the new cars to play around with, and no one knew Mitsubishi were coming at the time we did the last video, so there we go. Either way, the Evo 6 is our new leader, and what a leader, what a time it is going to be to try and beat. That'll be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.